Indonesia and the U.S. celebrate 76 years of bilateral cooperation, and the defense cooperation between the two countries has strengthened. Do you believe that the defense cooperation between the two countries can be further expanded?
When you mention about the U.S.-Indonesia Comprehensive Strategic Partnership, the first sector that moving forward in this, using this collaboration, is on defense cooperation. It was a 2+2 program, senior official meeting. There's a Defense Ministry and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs from Indonesia, while from the U.S. part is from the U.S. State Department and also from the Pentagon. And this is moving. So I think with having this kind of a collaboration, what Indonesia and the ASEAN countries already firm to say that Southeast Asia is a zone of peace and security, so that we can develop the region in economically for the welfare of the people. This can be approved and proceed. In the second week of September, they call it the September round in Washington D.C. The Indonesian delegation is now in discussion with the U.S. partners. Yes, correct that for the moment, Indonesia will propose some of the reduced tariff for those commodities which are not being produced in the U.S. For example, the U.S. need very much a lot of those as palm oil. So if we export our palm oil, hopefully the tariff will be not be 19%, it will reduce.
Berkenaan dengan pengangkatan saudara-saudara sebagai Duta Besar Luar Biasa dan Berkuasa Penuh Republik Indonesia.
Pelantikan Indroyono Soesilo menjadi Duta Besar Luar Biasa dan Berkuasa Penuh Republik Indonesia untuk Amerika Serikat mengakhiri kekosongan kursi Dubes RI di Washington D.C. selama lebih dari 2 tahun. Membawa mandat memperkuat hubungan bilateral Indonesia dengan Amerika Serikat, apa rencana strategis Dubes Indroyono? Halo pemirsa, Anda menyaksikan International Corner bersama saya Grazia Simanjuntak. Dengan Duta Besar Republik Indonesia untuk Amerika Serikat, Bapak Indroyono Soesilo. Ambassador Indroyono, congratulations on your inauguration.
Thank you, Grazia, and thank you for having me this morning.
There are significant tasks and priorities awaiting you, sir.
Indeed, it is. As you mentioned earlier, that yes, in the last 2 years, there is no Indonesian ambassador in the United States, and I'm honored to be given an opportunity by President Prabowo Subianto he give a task for me to enhance and increase collaboration and cooperation between these two great countries.
Indeed. Let's begin with the 76 years of bilateral relations between Indonesia and the U.S.
Yes.
The bilateral cooperation between Indonesia and the United States has been officially upgraded to a comprehensive strategic partnership, coinciding with the 75 years of diplomatic relations. In your view, what opportunities for cooperation does this commitment take? And what efforts do you make to support this partnership?
Indeed, in 2023, there was U.S.-Indonesia Comprehensive Strategic Partnership signed between President Joko Widodo and U.S. President Joe Biden. Indeed, this one was to be an umbrella agreement in which using this comprehensive partnership cooperation, many sectors between the two countries can be developed, and the collaboration with the two countries may be enhanced. I'm looking forward with this umbrella agreement activities, among others, activities in economic development, culture, social, also up to economy in terms of using this umbrella for enhancing the small and medium enterprises between Indonesia and the U.S.
Data from the Central Statistics Agency, or BPS, indicates that the U.S. was the largest contributor to Indonesia's trade surplus from January to June 2025. Now, what strategic plans do you have to maintain or even increase this surplus?
Indeed, let me put you mentioned from until June. Let me get back into the data of Indonesia's export and import between the two countries in 2024. The total trade balance between Indonesia and America is Indonesia is exporting around 26 billion US dollar, while the US is exporting to Indonesia around 10 billion US dollar.
Right.
So we have some surplus. So there is some effort that yes, the widening of the surplus should be make it closer and closer. Doesn't mean that both countries will reduce their trade activities, but everybody should work together to improve their trading balances. And this is what happening, and the policies that are being given, that there is a reciprocal tariff that has been given. Both countries agree to proceed to increase the trade activities, but also to closen the trade balance.
Moving on to the next question. Indonesia and the U.S. celebrate 76 years of bilateral cooperation, and the defense cooperation between the two countries has strengthened. Do you believe that the defense cooperation between the two countries can be further expanded, such as in maritime security or military modernization?
Thank you, Grace. It will be interesting when you mentioned about the U.S.-Indonesia Comprehensive Strategic Partnerships. The first sector that moving forward in using this collaboration is on defense cooperation. It was a 2+2 program, senior official meeting. There's a Minister of Defense Ministry and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs from Indonesia, while from the U.S. part is from the U.S. State Department and also from the Pentagon. And this is moving. Many of the activities include joint exercises, include training of Indonesian officers to the U.S. The same as also there is some visit of the U.S. officers to Indonesia. Joint exercise like the Super Garuda Shield, organized between the two countries, followed by other countries around the region and also around the world. So I think with having this kind of a collaboration, what Indonesia and the ASEAN countries already firm to say that Southeast Asia is a zone of peace and security, so that we can develop the region in economically for the welfare of the people. This can be approved and proceed. As you know that Indonesia is one of the 5 initiator countries who initiate the establishment of ASEAN in 1967, and one of the charter mentioned that this Southeast Asia region should be peace and secure, so that we can develop our countries, we can improve the welfare of our people, and we are very happy to see that within 2 years, in 2027, we are going to inaugurate the 60th anniversary of the ASEAN cooperation.
So you're saying that there are still many opportunities to expand this?
Yes, because ASEAN, which Indonesia part of those, have a very strong collaboration also with the United States. Because United States is one of the partner of ASEAN, beside only Indonesia and also bilaterally with the United States. ASEAN also as a group, we have a good bilateral collaboration with the United States.
What about defense cooperation between Indonesia and the U.S.?
As you mentioned earlier, yes, there's many training activities of the Indonesian officers to the U.S. There is also joint exercises, not only in terms of force, but also like cooperation in naval exercises, if to overcome is some of the natural disaster occurred. This is also ongoing between the two countries. But last but not least, of course, also maybe there's a program to procure many of the Indonesian military hardware from the United States.
What initiatives will the Indonesian embassy in the U.S. undertake to promote Indonesian culture and values? Can you please elaborate?
Very interesting. I think in a diplomacy, we call it, this is a soft diplomacy. Let me put it something which might interest you and everybody. For example, in the U.S. there are 300 gamelan units, orchestra in the U.S.
Oh.
Out of those, there are 100 of those gamelan orchestra, is in the campuses, in the university's campuses.
Right.
That means that each campus with this orchestra, they will have courses. The courses will end with a performance, and they can use this as part of the people-to-people culture contact between the two countries. And I mentioned this already. I report this to the Minister of Culture, Dr. Fadlizon, and he's very happy. Let's organize an Indonesian night. Our student will organize the event. The gamelan will perform with the U.S. student who joined the courses. I'd like to share with you some number.
Okay.
Currently, there are 8,400 Indonesian students in the U.S. That means that they are in a bachelor program, in a master program, also PhD program. And besides that, also there are very active diaspora. There are 80 diasporas who now have become a professor in many universities in America. And there's some of the working in the big U.S. Companies like the Boeing, IBM, Tesla, and so on. And some of those also working in many of the very advanced research center in the U.S. This can be mobilized to work together with Indonesia to come together to improve, to enhance the science and technology collaboration between the two countries.
Oh, it's great to hear that. Ambassador Indroyono, this is the end of the first segment, and in the next segment we will discuss several policies from President Donald Trump's administration, including the high tariffs on various countries and the closure of USAID.
Thank you very much.
Pemirsa, International Corner akan kembali dengan isu-isu terkini terkait hubungan bilateral Indonesia dengan Amerika Serikat. A program that brings the world to your screen through insightful dialogues, exploring various issues with international figures. How do you view this?
It gives more visibility to Indonesia in France,
revealing various facts regarding bilateral, regional, and multilateral cooperation in numerous sectors. Welcome back, Mr. Ambassador, to our second segment.
I'm Grazia Simanjuntak, the producer and host.
And I'm your host, Arya Sindiara. Join us on International Corner.
Halo pecinta sepak bola Indonesia. Tahu nggak, di 1952 ada Tony Pogasnik, warga negara Yugoslavia yang harus lewati lobby politik dulu untuk latih timnas Indonesia. Nah, itu baru satu fakta. Masih banyak lagi hal seru dan fakta menarik tentang sejarah dan sosok-sosok penting sepak bola di tanah air. Saksikan hanya di Sport Antara.
Obrolan seputar isu paling hangat jangan dengar dari sembarang sumber.
Di sini, podcast yang mengundang narasumber pakar dan ahli terpercaya. Podcast Antara on the record, podcast Antara close up.
Simak ya, hanya di
antaranews.com/video dan YouTube Antara TV Indonesia.
Anda kembali menyaksikan International Corner. Mr. Ambassador, now let's touch on a couple of current issues. An import tariff of 19% from the US on Indonesia began on August 7, right?
Yes.
Now, however, the Indonesian government is continuing negotiations targeted to be completed by third quarter of 2025, aiming to achieve 0% tariff for several Indonesian commodities that cannot be produced in the US. Now, what important role will you play in this negotiation process?
Well, for the moment, I'm very happy to inform you that now, this week, in the second week of September, they call it the September round in Washington D.C. The Indonesian delegation is now in discussion with the U.S. partners. Yes, correct. That for the moment, Indonesia will propose some of the reduced tariff for those commodities which are not being produced in the U.S. For example, the U.S. need very much a lot of those as palm oil. So if we export our palm oil, hopefully is the tariff will be not the 19%, we reduce from there. Second, shrimp. Okay, Indonesia export to the U.S. shrimps nearly $2 billion US. And hopefully that because they need this kind of commodities, hopefully that the tariffs also can be reduced, not 19%. The third one, you know that we are producing timber and the furniture, and this is being discussed also. Hopefully that the furniture and timber products to the U.S., timber lumber and furniture, also can be exported to the U.S. and a reduced tariff. But let me put it this way: we know that all the collaborations will be a win-win between the two countries. For example, garments and apparels from Indonesia, they are very much have a big market in the U.S. Okay, now Indonesian garment and apparel production activity in Indonesia is still not optimum. For example, it's only still now it's less than 20%. Now, by having a 19% tariff to the U.S., while for example our competitor like Vietnam is 20% tariff, China 30% tariff, Bangladesh I think more than 30% tariff. Actually, Indonesia have a very good competitive edge to increase our textile, apparel, and garment export to the U.S. So let's from our side, let's work in more efficient way that our export to the U.S. in this kind of commodity can be expanded.
Are copper and nickel included?
That's also included. We call it strategic minerals. Okay, for that one also, and yes.
Less than 19% or 0%?
We'll see. Let us give our delegation in the U.S. now is currently on a discussion with the U.S. counterpart to find out the best way for both countries. I'd like to share with you one issue, it's very interesting. In which part? Within the U.S.-Indonesia Comprehensive Strategic Partnership, there is issues of having a collaboration on Indonesian small and medium enterprises, both the U.S. and Indonesia. Okay, it's a small medium enterprises. United States provide a lot of incentive and facility for the U.S. small and medium enterprises. Indonesia also provide incentive and facilities for its 60 million small and medium enterprises. In the U.S., there is what we call United States Small Business Administration, USSBA. We haven't touched this much. So if you ask me what kind of strategy will I be arriving in Washington, hopefully by the end of September, I must start working with our new counterpart, with this United States Small Business Administration, in order that we can connect this one with Indonesian SMEs. very interesting also to know that the U.S. Small Business Administration is those in the federal level. Okay, but in the state level, in many of the state in the U.S., the U.S. have 50 states, you know, they have what they call small business center. So also we can go direct with the small business center to do that.
Speaking of incentives, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act is perceived as an incentive for the U.S. entrepreneurs and could reduce the attractiveness of investing in Indonesia. So what strategic plans do you have to enhance investment and investment appeal in Indonesia?
Yes, let me put it this way. Both countries have a lot of potential. Indonesia also have a lot of potential. If you talk about this incentive, now I spoke to Kadin, the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce. They said now is the time to invest in America. For example, one example of the member of the association, how about we open a warehouse in the US, okay, warehouse for furniture, for example, and we export our furniture to that warehouse, and from that warehouse, using 4G technologies, e-commerce, we can distribute the product to the US customers. This is the kind of a new approach, new way with the new technology. Usually, we export product from Indonesia with containers. Once the container is ready, they ship out to the US. Not anymore. Now, let's ship all the product to our warehouse in the US in collaborating with the US company. And the US company later on will distribute to the customer, to all the malls and all the big shopping mall all over the US. It's a new approach, and if we calculate this one, I think it's more efficient. Okay, because you don't have to wait until the containers is ready and ship it out. Now, any container ready, we just ship it out and preserve and save and deposit all the goods and products in our warehouse in the US, and then the US companies and then distribute to the customer.
Yeah, very interesting. But how challenging is that? How challenging is that?
Now this kind of issues is getting more feasible because of the technology. Okay, I just want to mention to you also, maybe just for everybody to know that in a few hours, you know, in the 9th of September, in a few hours, I think Indonesia will launch the Nusantara 5 satellite from Florida, Cape Canaveral, just a few hours from now. The Nusantara 5 satellite is a telecommunications satellite, geostationary satellite, being built in the US, together built by Indonesian experts, and will cover internet and television program all over Indonesian archipelago, including Malaysia and also the Philippines. See, with having this new facility of telecommunications satellite to cover the whole archipelago, this kind of activities between the people-to-people context, business-to-business activities, and then the government to government, and also the students, experts, entrepreneurs, it can be increased very much and very fast because of the new technology. The world is getting smaller. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Ambassador, as we know, President Trump ended the USAID, while Indonesia has been one of its recipients. Now, how will the mechanism for delivering this development assistance change following Trump's recent policy shift to channel funds from the U.S. Department of State? And what negative impacts might this have?
First of all, I think Indonesia should acknowledge and thank you to the American people for so many years. Indonesia received assistance from the United States Agency for International Development, USAID. Because of the collaboration with the US, I think Indonesia now become an emerging economy. You know, Indonesia member G20. G20 is 20 countries in the world. When you combine together, cover the largest economy in the world. You know, I think now is a high time also Indonesia, not only receiving aids from the US and start also giving assistance to and the countries who more need it than Indonesia. I like to inform you that yes, now there is activities with Indonesia. Now can assist many other countries, while with the US, I think the collaboration is now more an equal platform. I like to share with you, for example, when you talk about 8,000 students in America, some of those is paid by Indonesian private sector. Some of those are from the Indonesian trust fund, we call it LPDP, okay? And some only small little amount of those coming from the US support. What does it mean? I mean now we are more equal and more balanced to having a future program together between the two countries. You mentioned AID, I like to share with you that these two countries are very great countries. You know, the US, I think we in Indonesia need United States. You know, they are one of the powerful nation on earth. But at the same time also the US need Indonesia because Indonesia put its position between the two great continents, Asia and Australia, and two large oceans, the Pacific and Indian Ocean. I think this is also a very strategic location in which the both countries have an opportunity to work together. The both people also to enhance the people-to-people context between the two people of the two countries.
True. Now, in light of increased enforcement of international student visa regulations by U.S. immigration, concerns have risen regarding the potential of revocation of Indonesian student visas. Now, what steps will the Indonesian embassy in the U.S. take to protect Indonesian students?
If you heard about the policies given by the U.S. government, it's a policies across the board for all countries. But also there is a policies given to each of the countries. For example, for Indonesia, I spoke to the U.S. Secretary of Affairs, Ambassador Peter Hammond, just 2 weeks ago. He mentioned to me, look, regarding the student visa, still in progress. It doesn't mean that all of the Indonesian students will already receive the F1 visa to study in the U.S. should change their study maybe to other countries than the U.S. because the policy is still ongoing. And I'm still in Jakarta right now, and while I'll be arriving in Washington, this is one of my priority to see what is the current policies in the U.S. regarding the visa for the Indonesian student, because each countries the policies imposed to each countries regarding this one is different. So sometimes when we follow the news, this is like a policies across the board, the whole countries all over the world.
No, it's
not. When I learned from our Secretary of Affairs in the U.S. Embassy in Jakarta, Ambassador Hammond, they said no, each country have their own. U.S. have their own policies, and Indonesia is not included in that. But let me reassure you when I arrive in Washington.
Okay. But a portion of the 360 scholarship recipients to study in the U.S. has faced visa denials. Now, what steps will or how does this impact cooperation with Indonesia in the field of education? What strategic plans do you have?
Again, I will follow the latest policy when I arrive in Washington. But as you said, 360 out of 8,500, how many percent? Less than 5%, yeah?
Right.
Okay, so let me check later on one by one. But when I heard from the U.S. government official regarding these issues, they mentioned, please do come to the U.S. Still, because when I mentioned to you, we have 8,400 students, you think a lot, right? But just our neighbor, Vietnam, currently now we have 22,000 students. Because everybody now to make a long investment in terms of human resources. And the U.S. still consider a country with a strong science and technology.
Mr. Ambassador, next we will discuss a Indonesia's accession to the BRICS organization and its implication for relations with the United States. Pemirsa, kami akan kembali di segmen terakhir.
Jadilah yang lebih dulu dalam menerima informasi yang tengah menjadi perbincangan di jagat publik.
Sebelumnya, Mary Jane sudah mengajukan gerasi, namun ditolak.
Kami sajikan dengan narasi dan infografis yang mudah dicerna oleh halayak. Desain mengotak dengan streamline-nya membuatnya tampak gahar sekaligus elegan.
Saksikan hanya di Perantara, tayang setiap hari Minggu di portal antaranews.com.
Dan setiap hari Senin di kanal YouTube Antara TV Indonesia.
Pastikan tidak ketinggalan setiap episodenya.
Menyajikan fakta yang belum pernah terungkap. Nusantara Beat adalah grup musik berbasis di Amsterdam dengan akar budaya Indonesia yang kuat.
Mengulas segala hal yang berkaitan dengan musik secara mendalam dan informatif.
Kedekatan Kurt Cobain dengan The Fazlins tak hanya sampai di situ. Nama depan putih Kurt diambil dari nama personil The Fazlins, Francis McKay.
Ngobrol santai dan menyaksikan penampilan apik musisi favorit.
Saksikan hanya di Antara TV.
A program that brings the world to your screen through insightful dialogues, exploring various issues with international figures. How do you view this?
It gives more visibility to Indonesia in France.
Revealing various facts regarding bilateral, regional, and multilateral cooperation in numerous sectors. Welcome back, Mr. Ambassador, to our second segment.
I'm Grazia Simajuntak, the producer and host.
And I'm your host, Arya Sindiara. Join us on International Corner.
Anda kembali menyaksikan International Corner. Mr. Ambassador, the 2025 BRICS Summit in Brazil marks the Indonesia's debut as a permanent member, right? How will you navigate the relationship between Indonesia and the US to assure them that Indonesia does not have a malicious intention in joining BRICS, such as Indonesia is not involved in the dollarization agendas? How will you navigate that?
Let me put it in a phrase like this. For Indonesia, since Indonesia also have a policy of non-aligned. Okay, we always said 1,000 friends is not enough. One adversary is too many. So for that issues, in order to increase our collaboration with the global activities in terms of political, economical, social, culture, and also defense, Indonesia joined BRICS. Okay, which also Indonesia joined G20.
Yeah.
It's also Indonesia joined the APEC. It's also Indonesia joined the IORA, the Indian Ocean Rim Association, and also we are the strong member of the global organizations like the United Nations and so on. So this is just part of our collaboration regionally, so globally, for the interests of Indonesia itself. So for me, yes, I still have to improve the collaboration between Indonesia and the US in politics, economy, social, culture, and defense for the interests of Indonesia. This is the role of ambassador, of Indonesian ambassador to the US. So in issue of this, let's get back into the issues of 1,000 friends is not enough. Okay, one adversary is too many. So this is part of the enlarging the Indonesian friends.
Do you believe that Indonesia's membership in BRICS is likely to be advantageous from a geopolitical perspective, given Trump's criticism of BRICS as a whole?
I like to share with you some issues that actually both Indonesia and America, Indonesia and the US, both are big countries. The population of the US is 342 million, Indonesia have a population of 285 millions. Indonesia is the largest Muslim majority people. Indonesia is the largest archipelago in the world with more than 17,800 islands, you know, with abundance of natural resources. We just need it. Well, and we position ourselves a country with a strong position in Southeast Asia. We contribute a lot in terms of our region, in make this area still peace and secure. This is the issue that the U.S. also looking forward to work with us. At the same time also, the U.S. also would like to have, like for example, strategic minerals with Indonesia. They would like to work together with the investment of natural resources like oil and gas, and also the copper and the nickel. Many of the U.S. companies also working in this area in Indonesia with a lot of potential to work together for the future. So actually, yes, with the U.S. and Indonesia will work more strongly in the future. At the same time also, Indonesia will have a lot of friends in many regions of the world.
I'd like to probe into this, Mr. Ambassador. How will you convince the U.S. and the world, considering Washington and New York are centers of global diplomacy, that Indonesia is a non-aligned country that does not take sides in the current geopolitical situation?
Yes, I just want to reiterate what interested to see what President Prabowo Subianto has been doing the less than 1 year. You know, he was invited to Russia. He was invited to China. President Biden invited him on the way to Brazil. You know, so and then Indonesian contingent was invited, and for the Bastille Day in Paris, and also during the Republic Day in India. And you know, just want to share with you, if times will be okay, everything's okay, President Prabowo will give a speech in the United Nations General Assembly in the 23rd and 24th of September. I think this is the first time for the Indonesian president to give speech in the UNGA in the last 10 years, and 200 countries is the member of the UN. And the interesting is, the president will give speech number 3.
Oh.
Okay. Number one, of course, U.S. President Trump. And number 2 is President Lula from Brazil. As you say, okay, that one represents the G20. This one is representing the BRICS, Brazil. Okay. Indonesia is number 3, representing one of the strong non-aligned countries in the world. So this is something that I like to share with you. Less than 1 year, the President Prabowo was inaugurated to become a president. He was very well known and accepted in the global community.
Okay. Lastly, Mr. Ambassador, what efforts will you make to ensure that Indonesia is seen as relevant by the U.S.?
I just mentioned to you, these are the 2 great countries, and the leaders, President Prabowo and President Trump, already have a communication, even though by phone. And I assure you that the collaboration between 2 countries is very strong, you know, both in political, economy, social, culture, and defense. It was exemplified by the existing U.S.-Indonesia comprehensive strategic partnerships. In my view, it's my job, my task when I'll be arriving in Washington is to bring the Indonesian sectors to use this umbrella agreement to enhance the collaboration with the U.S. counterpart. So because I think this is only less than 2 years of this agreement, we should use this at the optimum if we can make it, you know, because this can be used as to strengthen the collaboration between the 2 countries.
Okay, Mr. Ambassador, this brings our discussion to a close for now. Thank you for sharing your perspective with the audience, and best wishes in your work.
Thank you, Gracia, and thank you for having me today.
Thank you, sir. Pemirsa, demikian perbincangan saya dengan Duta Besar Republik Indonesia untuk Amerika Serikat, Bapak Indroyono Soesilo. Terima kasih telah menyaksikan International Corner. Sampai jumpa di episode berikutnya.